Good morning, gents. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this brief chat with our CEO, Mr. Edgar Rathbone, ahead of our Vodacom URC quarterfinal match against the South Sea Sharks. It's been an incredible season for the Vodacom Bulls, something that Edgar is proud of. So he has an opportunity for us to just chat about the season as well as this important quarter final against the South Sea Sharks and the importance of participating in the Vodacom URC for the first time this season. I see Ashfaq already has his hand up. We'll shoot then straight to questions. Ashfaq, you can take the first one.
Thanks, Mani. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Edgar.
Morning, Ashfaq. How are you?
Okay, and you?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Sitting now and smiling with a home quarterfinal, but that dark, what is it, September day in Dublin with Leinster 31-3. Did you think that then South Africa made the wrong decision to leave, or although we were kicked out of Super Rugby, but yeah, joining the URC and playing the likes of Leinster?
Yeah, Ashfaq, I mean, you referred to one dark day in Europe. I think there was three. But look, I mean, we always knew it was going to be a tough competition, and what I respect of our team and especially our coaching staff is that they came back in the debrief of that specific tour and said, listen, we're going to have to make some game plan changes to how we play. Specifically a lot more ball in hand and a lot more tempo. As I mean, that's what surprised us the most, I think, of the European teams, especially that first Leinster game. And they started implementing that, and obviously the team first struggled to get a hang on it, because always when you change things it takes a bit of time, but as soon as those new sort of game plans clicked in, I think we saw the results in the competition.
So sorry to jump quite ahead now, but just on the quarterfinal and then onto the semi-final, I asked Willem about it. He said he's going to find out. I mean, even if you win and Glasgow somehow beat Leinster, the finals in the semi-final will be in Scotland. Have you guys inquired about that?
We have inquired about it. That is the competition rules for this year. So it's basically a seeded draw, and if Glasgow then beats the number one seed, they will take a home semi-final. We'll have to travel to Glasgow if we manage to beat the Sharks.
But there was no explanation about it or why, because it just doesn't make sense.
Ashfaq, that's the way the rules was made in the beginning of the competition, and obviously they kept with that. The only rule that changed is that the final is still the top seeded team where we'll host it. Previously, it would have been at a neutral venue, like we saw in the Champions Cup.
Kobus?
Morning, Chumani. Hello, Edgar. I hope you're well.
Kobus, all good, thank you.
Good, thanks. Edgar, it's halfway through the week. How's the ticket sales looking? And do you believe we will have a good indication on the South African rugby public's appetite for matches like this on Saturday?
Yeah, look, Kobus, I mean, it's especially over the last 2 days, there's been a massive pickup. So we're getting close to the 20,000. Obviously, capacity being 25,000 for this one. And if the increase overnight sort of sustains for the next few days, we'll get very close to, if not the full 25,000. Again, we're quite. I need to say thank you to Office across the road. They're hosting Menlo, but they managed to move their fixture a bit earlier to, I think, 12:20. So the area around Loftus is going to have a lot of rugby on Saturday. So we're hoping for a big crowd.
Heinz?
Edgar, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Hope you're well. It's actually a bit of a follow-up on Kobus's question. I know you can't speak for anybody else, but just as a general observer and a participant in the ecosystem of SA Rugby, do you believe this weekend in general, given that the Stormers are also playing, is going to be a really, really crucial weekend in general for South African rugby perhaps to sort of like provide a catalyst for live sport watching again. You know, you have the Springboks coming up. I mean, I know Ross van Reenen at the Cheetahs also said they are targeting that test, you know, as the one fixture where they really need to start telling people, please come back.
Yeah, look, Hans, I mean, I think you're 100% right in terms of the South African rugby appetite to watch live sport. I think across the stadiums we've seen that appetite growing, even in the Carling Currie Cup. I think competition wise, over the last weekend, if you look at the UK, I think there was about a 75% increase on the average attendance, and it was the biggest attended weekend in the competition. So I think the competition itself is catching the attention and the imagination of the supporter. I mean, it was a hell of an exciting weekend last weekend. I think most of us got in a bit of trouble at home just watching all the rugby or the previous weekend, just back-to-back games, and every game counted. So I think that's the excitement of the competition. That's why we're in the competition. And there's really, I mean, the quality of rugby in my mind has been exceptional.
I don't see any other hands. Any other questions? Carl, you can come through, sir.
Edgar, morning. Thanks for the opportunity.
Morning, Carl.
There's a lot of talk about the number of players you can contract and the maximum place on your salary bill. And I mean, it's proven, I want to say a train smash, but is there any talks that SARU will change their attitude? Because I mean, at this stage, you must compete in a competition with your one hand tied to your back.
Yeah, look, Carl, I mean, I think saying you're competing in competition one hand and behind your back, I mean, there's 3 South African teams in the quarterfinals with 2 hosting. So I think we've done really well. I think it's also important to note that the salary cap does not come through SARU. It comes through the players' organization as well as Soraya, and a collective agreement with that. So there's a few important things. I think mostly in the past few years, most clubs, if not all, has been under the salary cap quite significantly and carrying credits on the cap. And from my information, currently there is not one club that is actually on the 50 maximum in terms of players. So I think we're managing it quite well currently. There is a task team set up to look at possible changes going into next year, but I think the system currently is working, and the results on the field obviously have shown that over the past few months. So yeah, I mean, I don't expect massive changes, maybe a slight increase in the number of players being contracted.
We'll go to Percy, followed by Kobus.
Thank you so much, Tamani. Good afternoon, Edgar.
What Percy?
Edgar, kan ik net vragen, misschien een vraag wat ik waarschijnlijk herhaal in Afrikaans net. Wat is je gevoel daar by julle Unie rondom hierdie winsgewende gebeurtenisse wat hierdie naweek gebeur? En miskien net 'n groter vraag. Julle staan op 'n goeie op die oomblik. Jy sit dit nou op in die URC en aan die VRK en in die Currie beker mee. Ek was bevoorreg gewees om met jou persoonlik te praat die dag toe julle kaartjies R20 'n kaartjie gemaak het. En ek het gehoor wat jou gevoel was. Ja. Moontlik moet julle kyk na julle kaartjieprysmodel. Julle is nou in 'n uitklop rugby fase van julle seisoen. Wat is julle as administrateurs gevoel nou rondom toeskouers? Gaan julle beloon of gaan julle nou uitbuit nou met uitklop rondes?
Dus ja, dat was een R25 kaartjie. Maar so ons het die kaartjies hier in Naik begin steeds op R25. En daar's genoeg sitplekke in daai kategorie. En hy gaan dan al die pad op tot R250, jy weet, vir jou beste sitplekke in die huis. Soos ek daai dag ook vir jou gesê het, die interessantheid is dis altyd jou duurste kaartjies wat amper eerste uitverkoop, daai op die middellyn, en dan begin hulle daarvan aan 'n vol maak. So kyk, dit was nog altyd ons uitsiening op die ding is dat, jy weet, ons moet die ondersteuners beloon, ons moet dit bekostigbaar maak vir almal om stadion toe kan kom. En ons almal sien wat gebeur met die petrolprys en hoe alles duurder word. So ons verstaan dat dit 'n duur uitstappie vir 'n familie kan wees. So ons wil dit bekostigbaar as moontlik maak. Maar ja, ek dink ons ons moet eintlik net die spelers en die afrigters regtig bedank vir die werk wat hulle gedoen het om ons in 'n posisie te kry om 'n kwart eindronde in Pretoria aan te bied. Jy weet, dis 'n groot voorreg. En ons sien regtig uit na Saterdag.
Kobus, okay, sorry, Percy, looks like you have a follow-up.
Thank you so much. Edgar, dalk net ook as 'n opvolger soos jy gesê het, julle speel natuurlik baie uitkloprondes op die oomblik. Wat is die gevoel rondom hierdie stadium van die kompetisie self nou? As julle vol selfvertroue dat julle goeie rugby kan oplewer as 'n unie self. En soos my kollega gevra het meneer is wat is die vraag wat ek nou wil vra? Edgar, op ander gees hy vra ek sal terugkom as ek Monica kans kry.
Yes, Percy, dis 'n tegniese vraag vir 'n CEO. Ek meen daai vraag is gewoonlik vir die coach, maar kyk, ek dink dis wel vir ons in rugby is, dis wel vir 'n speler in rugby is, jy weet, om 'n uitklop rugby te speel. Ons sien ook ons rekord oor die laaste paar jaar in uitklop rugby was sover goed, jy weet. So dit is tog hoekom die manne die sport speel, en ons glo hulle sal die beste gee Saterdag.
Kobus?
Ek wil jou graag 'n bietjie vra oor die toets op 2 Julie teen Wallis. Is julle steeds hoopvol dat julle meer as 25,000 mense in die stadion kan hê, of het julle by 'n punt gekom wat julle besluit geneem het 25,000 mense en julle met julle beplanning daar rondom doen?
Kobus, so ons het op die oomblik ons kaartjieverkope tydelik gesluit vir die toets. Ons wag vir verdere nuus. Op die oomblik is daar nie. Maar ek glo van my inligting is dat SA Rugby nog onderhandel met die regering en hopelik kry ons nuus in die volgende week of so wat daai nommer sal kan lig. Maar op die oomblik is ons redelik vol vir die toets.
Dankie. Thanks, Edgar.
Dankie, Kobus. Ashfaq, wat sê jy?
Edgar, you spoke about player contracting earlier, that you might need a few more players, but obviously your Champions Cup next season, it may change things drastically in terms of not only number of players, but your salary bill. How do you approach that kind of thing? Because essentially you will need 3 teams. I know Jake and Gerd have been mixing and matching guys for Currie Cup and URC. A Champions Cup, you can't have guys playing URC one week and Champions Cup the next week. So how's that looking?
Yeah, look, I mean, we haven't received any details around the Champions Cup, so it's very hard to comment on it, to see where it fits into the season, where the Currie Cup will fit in, where the URC will fit in. So only once we get that information, we can really comment about how you'll manage your squads between those competitions. Will the Currie Cup be a single, double round? When will it be? So that will all impact your playing numbers and what is needed for that part of the tournament.
But do you think, sorry, Chumani, just one more. Do you think that you still have that sort of firepower, if I could say that, to sign on a few big names that you would need to win like Champions Cup? I know a lot has been made about the Sharks now, but yeah, just in terms of the Bulls, because you don't actually have any current Springbok.
Yeah, look, I mean, the reality is
that might need to change if you want to.
Yeah, look, the reality is we've got plenty of credits on our cap. We're under the cap this year by substantially as well. And our model basically is that we need the revenue to support
current Springboks, and that might need to change if you want to.
Can you hear me, guys?
Just breaking up a bit, but yeah.
Can you hear you now, Edgar?
Where did you lose me, Ashfaq?
Just talking about you need the revenue.
Just hold on, gents. I just want to check our connection here.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you spoke about the revenue support.
Yeah.
Revenue support.
Yeah, so the model we follow, Ashfaq, is basically we need our budget on players is not determined only by the salary cap. It's determined about fixed revenue, and fixed revenue is effectively sponsorship and distributions from SA Rugby out of broadcasting rights, etc. your flexible revenues and your flexible expenditure needs to be covered by your flexible revenues, obviously ticket sales and suite sales, etc. As we've all seen over the last 2 years, that can disappear pretty quickly. So I mean, our restraint that we look at is not the cap. We look for revenues to match what we want to expend on squad numbers, etc.
Okay, we'll go to Percy before we go to our last couple of questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Edgar, meneer het voerende hoof kan net vir u vra. Ek het nou onthou wat ek wou gevra het. Net as 'n opvolg op jou goeie antwoord wat jy me gegee het rondom die feit dat julle toeskouers, julle getroue toeskouers bedank en julle selfs julle groep spelers, julle afrigters vir die werk wat hulle doen. Kan ek jou vra, jy het nou so lekker geantwoord in die vorige vraag van die feit julle as administrateurs verstaan die druk waaronder Suid-Afrikaners is, julle toeskouers, die mense wat duisende rande betaal, honderde rande betaal om julle produkte ondersteun. Sê gou vir my in die lig van wat nou gebeur, moontlik kan gebeur oor die volgende paar weke by julle Unie, meneer. Plaas dit baie druk op julle as administrateur, as 'n besigheid self ook, die feit dat petrolpryse nou hoër raak en mense net sukkel nou om na stadions toe kom?
Ja, Percy, ek dink is baie maklik om ons ondersteuners struggles amper met die ekonomie te verstaan. Ek dink ons almal leef in Suid-Afrika, so ons almal verstaan dit, jy weet. So weer eens, jy weet, ek meen as ons kyk na die volgende paar weke en wat moontlik in die pipeline kan wees in terme van of die toetse en moontlike Curriebeeker wedstryde en uitspelwedstryde. Jy weet, ons staf het vir meer as 'n jaar en 'n half gewerk sonder toeskouers in die stadion, jy weet, en dit is nogal 'n leë gevoel vir mense wat in rugby in werk. As jy so in 'n leë stadion wat werk, het nie mense wat jy nou omsien nie, jy kan nie ervaring vir 'n ondersteuner gee nie, jy weet. So weer eens, ek meen dit is vir ons 'n massiewe voorreg om daai geleentheid te hê om vir mense die ervaring van Loftus te gee.
All right, ladies and gents, opportunity for last 2 questions. I don't see any hands, any takers. Gamva.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much. Morning, Edgar, and thanks for this morning. Perhaps on a personal note, I see that today is 2 years since you started the job at Loftus. Perhaps you can give us a rundown of what you've made of your time there, given that the time which you arrived and when Jake arrived, it's kind of coincided with a revolution of sorts at Loftus.
Yeah, look, I mean, I can't believe it's 2 years already. I mean, it's gone unbelievably quickly. But it's a massive privilege to be employed by this brand and be able to work with this brand. I mean, we've got amazing staff here, and what you can just see what has happened in terms of our team, the culture that is in our team, what our coaching squad has achieved. Obviously, the trophies are the reward for that, but it's about much more than that. I mean, you can see the screen behind me, and just our commercial partners and the great partners we've managed to get on board. You know, I think we unbelievably privileged to have seen a very substantial jump in commercial partners coming on board during COVID. So that's so much so that number is now higher than it was prior to COVID, you know. So yeah, we've been unbelievably blessed, and it's a privilege to work with a board that understands the challenges of rugby, that understands that you're working with people at the end of the day, and it's and we're very happy with the squad of players that we've got on board. And we hope we can keep them together as long as possible.
And then to wrap things up for us, Ashfaq, back to you.
Edgar, you just spoke now about the board. Just want to know, how's your interactions with Patrice Motsepe and Johan Rupert? Do you chat to them often or not? I know they're very busy men.
Ashfaq, it's a bit below my pay grade, that I reckon. No, look, they've got unbelievable people representing them on our board. You know, our chairman is Dr. Jan van Sail. who represents Dr. Mutsepe on the board. It's coincidentally, it's today Dr. Van Zyl and Dr. Rupert's birthday. So I think my 2-year anniversary is very small compared to that. But the same with Mr. Rupert. He's got Stefan Krause and Peter Ace on our board representing him, you know. So that's most of the interaction is with the board members directly.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for your time, and a big thanks to our CEO, Mr. Edgar Rathbone. And just another reminder that we'll then have our team announcement press conference on Friday. Those details will be coming through via email over the next 24 hours. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Edgar.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye.
thanks a lot, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.